Hello? Can anyone around here speak basketball?
There it is.
It's the Confederacy of Dunks Basketball Podcast.
Kyle Lowry. Welcome to the Confederacy of Dunks
Basketball Podcast.
I am your host, Freddie Rivas, and who, sir, are you?
I am your producer, Matt Duncan. Cheers.
Cheers. Wonderful to hear your name, sir. You're my own personal Matty D, and I'm lucky to have you. Matt, there's a lot going on in our kind of like podcast world with the Sonar Network, and I feel like we got some vital info for our listeners. Can you give it to them straight or what?
Are you talking about the contest that we have through the Sonar Network?
You better believe I'm talking about the contest.
I can talk to you about that. So the Sonar Network is having a fan art contest. Now, what you have to do is submit your fan art of your favorite Sonar Network podcast. So if you could for us, that'd be great. If you like another one, it really doesn't matter.
Wrapped a bit.
If it's the bedpost, if it's, landlord and tenant, or my gorgeous son, or the immigrant section, or that's fine. You can whatever you're inspired to draw. But here's the thing: you can win a pair of Studio Regent 2 headphones. I think they're valued. I have a lot of headphones. I like headphones a lot. I think they're valued around $130 retail. Not bad. They're wireless. They're Bluetooth. I'm sure they sound pretty damn good. They look sharp.
Guys, Matt knows a lot about sound everything. So this is for real.
Yeah, and the rules are you got to be following the Sonar Network on Instagram. Use the hashtag #SonarFanArt and tag at the Sonar Network in your submission. So just post it on Instagram. The deadline is October the 15th. You can submit one per person, and hopefully you get picked to win these headphones. I will say, I feel like I've seen some bedpost fan art that it's up there. It's pretty damn good. So
listen, I know a lot of people who listen to this pod are good at drawing. And all I'm asking for is me midair flying towards the net, clearly jumping off some flubber. Come on. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I know if you listen to this pod, I like flubber. Matt likes flubber too. He giggles every time I mention it. So it's like, give us some flubber love, right?
Yeah. You know what, Freddie? I haven't ran this by you yet, but what if someone does some fan art of us? We put it into our next episode's artwork. How about that?
I would do it.
Yeah?
I would do it hands down.
All right.
Assuming it's flubber based.
Yeah.
If not, we'll talk.
Please make it flubber based. We are obsessed with flubber on this podcast.
Just even a bit of flubber, you're a shoo-in from me.
Absolutely.
But to take things back to the serious, often racist world we live in, here at the pod, we're always concerned with ugly things, whether it's the Steve Simmons question from a couple weeks ago, or this goddamn deputy who won't stop being publicly awful and bigoted and racist towards Masai Ujiri. I don't even really want to repeat the outlandish, basically just outright terrorists, or sorry, he compared Masai to a terrorist. Sorry. I didn't even want to say that because it feels so ridiculous to say, because it is. And it's just a bigoted kind of hateful thing. And it's too bad that it's continuing on, and Masai Ujiri has to deal with this kind of stuff. But it also does highlight the systemic nature of racism and the over-the-top outlandish behavior by police. It's frustrating to me that this guy has a megaphone to say these things, and that in a countersuit, we saw the video, in the countersuit, still has the audacity to mudsling in this awful way. Like it's just, it's frustrating that his words keep getting out there. And I think that's a product of the natural, power differential that's created in a white supremacist society. So, keep working towards defunding the police, keep supporting, Black people around you and the ones that you are like need help, and Black Lives Matter. It's frustrating to have to live in this all the time.
Yeah.
I think we're good to start the pod, unless Matt, you have anything to add.
Guy fucking sucks. That's all I'll fucking say about that guy.
Yeah, that guy sucks.
Fucking
he sucks. So bad.
Get fucked. And that's us Canadians say, get fucked, bud.
Honestly, get fucked, bud feels good. He's a get fucked, bud scenario. But Matt, if you feel like we're good to go, please just give me the okay.
Okay.
Okay, let's bring on guest number one. We have been friends forever, aka since college, but that's a really long time since I'm in my 30s. This guy writes for This Hour, I don't know, Bare Ness, a bunch of stuff. Like he's awesome, he's hilarious, he's a Sirius XM top comic. He's got serious reach. He's from Cambridge, so I assume he hates Kitchener's Jamal Murray. Give it up as loud as you can for the one, the only, Adam Christie.
What's that for everybody?
What's up, buddy?
Just did a very dramatic screen pan down for everyone watching on the YouTube channel. I'm looking at you, four people.
This is big. They need it. I mean, I feel like it was a dramatic, intro, and you lived up to it. So cheers.
No crowd too small for Adam Christie.
That's right. This guy will dance in an alleyway with no one looking just to entertain himself, right?
I'll dance in an alleyway while people throw beer bottles at me like Jackie Chan and Rumble in the Bronx. Remember that famous scene?
I 100% do remember that famous scene, and shout out to Jackie Chan, one of the world's best clowns, fantastic actor, and he's the best. I honestly watched a lot of Jackie Chan growing up.
Honestly, can I just say that what I remember from that movie is the kid playing Game Gear with no game in the back.
Oh yeah,
check the tape.
I think there was a point to that. Didn't they mention that in the movie, Matt?
Well, no, like doesn't somebody go, there's no game in it.
I think that's part of the movie.
I just remember having so much fun with it.
Let's pause the podcast. Watch Rumble in the Bronx until that scene, and then I'll be back.
Thank you so much. Honestly, now's the time where you need some people to take charge. Let's bring on guest number two. He's on the pod a bunch of times. He's hilarious. He's improviser, sketch comedian, co-creator of Ming's Dynasty, which is on CBC Gem and Fuse TV, which I'm reading on Twitter because I'm like, you know what? I should be able to list the things that the people are on. It might be more helpful for the guests and the listeners too. Give it up as loud as you can at home, even if you're alone, for Anthony Hall.
Yeah. Happy to be back on the pod, baby.
Yeah, buddy. Happy to have you. Just checking out your background. Is that a Canadiens jersey?
No, it is an Edmonton Oilers jersey. Connor McDavid.
Connor. Okay. Yeah. Connor McDavid. Hope he gets well soon.
That's right. I'm praying for him as we speak.
Cheers. Let's all pray for Connor. And I guess maybe also my eyes, because maybe I'm colorblind, that I fully saw an Edmonton jersey and thought it was a Habs jersey. Is it?
It's like the dress, Is it blue or is it white? Or
right. I was like, what the hell is Matt saying? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's whenever the Oilers and Canadians play each other, no one knows what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, they're like, oh,
They're like, who
Yeah.
scored? It's why Bob Cole lost his mind a little bit.
Oh, that's the Bob Cole backstory.
Also, I'd like to say Anthony Hall, not a lot for the YouTube viewers on his intro. Big disrespect move.
Yeah.
Noted.
Yeah.
Noted by the YouTube Confederacy of Dunks family.
Sorry to the 3 to 5 viewers. I do it for the audio guys. That's why I come in with incredible energy during the sting. It's all for the audio.
Fair.
Okay,
Fair.
cheers. I'm really appreciating this guest rivalry. Honestly, I don't stoke that enough. So that's on me. Let's get talking basketball. Obviously, the NBA Finals is the big deal, but we're a Raptors pod, so we're going to hit up some Raptors stuff first. Maddie, I don't know what you got, but I'm sure you got something. Please give me your finest Raptors sting.
Hashtag RTZ.
Yeah. I was trying time out when I think it ends.
You're on it. You're on it.
People need to know RTZ. Hashtag RTZ. Not
What is
hashtag-
What is RTZ?
It's the Raptors hashtag. I truly don't know where the Z or the Z comes from.
It sounds like the Raptors airport. Like, I honestly don't know what
Yeah,
RTZ
I think that's what it's supposed to be like. RTZ Raptors.
Is it? Is
Yeah.
that like the Raptors
Like
wing
Raptors.
Of the
of the Air Canada Center?
Welcome to, flying into RTZ for some Raptors news.
Heathrow
That
RTZ.
sounded pretty slick.
That's a rough flight.
Yeah, that's like being a bagman for RTZ. Ooh, in a
so
cold
many
winter.
basketballs.
It's-
RTZ is, you know what happened at 9/11 on RTZ in Gander, Newfoundland.
It's hot on the tarmac in the summer, and it's cold on the tarmac in the winter. You don't want it. Let's Adam, I'm going to you first.
Okay.
I just listened to the Lowe Post with Windhorst and Zach Lowe, and they had Nick Nurse as a guest. It was a nice pod. They kind of talked about a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, talk to Windhorst a little bit too much. Kind of forgot that Nick Nurse was there at some points.
I'll say this. There's something going on with Lowe and Windhorst, and I feel like Lowe is being forced to work with Windhorst. I have no proof. I have no proof of this, but there's a couple times, like, I think Zach Lowe doesn't want to share his pod, but people are like, listen, you're the top guy. You got to work with all our people. And he's like, fine. That's just a total out there take. I don't know if it's true.
Wow.
But, okay. So you listen to it. Perfect. They're talking about zones, and Miami's got a bunch of zone love, especially in the conference finals. We did a ton of zone stuff throughout the season. That was kind of like the story of our series against Boston. Given that, hopefully Fred as well, but given that it looks like OG and Pascal are our future guys, and they're both incredible defenders, likely all NBA defenders in their career. Is that where this Raptors team is headed? Are we like a kind of like this defense first team for the next couple of years?
I think so. And I think we've seen in the Eastern Conference, especially Freddie, that the precedent has been set. The defense is kind of the way that the sport is going. Because you look at the Miami Heat, you look at the Boston Celtics, you look at the Los Angeles Lakers, who I'm sure we'll be talking about pretty soon, is all these teams are now playing defense. And strap yourself in. We're in for a boring next 5 years of basketball. It's going to be cool as hell.
I like it. I think if you've been a basketball fan for a long time, you follow the ebbs and flows of the NBA. If you're me, you've watched a Detroit Pistons San Antonio final, where barely a point was ever scored, and it was exciting. And
check those box scores.
Check the box scores.
The final game where the Pistons won, the final score, I don't know if you know this, was 14-12.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's good basketball. Anthony, what about you? Do you think this is like kind of like where we're headed, where the league's headed? I don't know. Do you also, let me throw in as well, do you like that?
Yeah. Okay. So I think specifically towards talking about the Raptors, I think, yes, it is where we're headed. I think league wide, we're touted as having one of the top defenses. So I think it would be stupid not to invest in more players and continue to cultivate the talent that we already have to build out our elite defense. Let's stop those threes. Let's get tougher in the paint and be able to have some guys who can rebound, maybe offensive rebound as well. That would be a treat.
Yeah.
First time in Raptors history.
Yeah. But I do think, the league is moving towards a little bit more of a defensive minded play style. Like Adam said, it's going to be a little bit boring, but this is the ebb and flow of how the league evolves. I guess the meta of how it all works, and I'm sure there's going to be players that will break that mold and make it harder for people to lock down. Like no matter how hard you try, you're not going to be able to lock down Giannis all the time. So I mean, it is what it is, and defense wins championships. All the sports.
Yeah. Also, we've talked about this before. The Raptors aren't the sexiest team. We don't have like a sexy Dame Lillard. We don't have a sexy even a Jamal Murray, a Luka. So we kind of have to be that like boring defensive lockdown team because, ladies and gentlemen, we've seen what our all NBA star does in the playoffs, and it's not
nice.
It's not too good.
No.
But on defense, it is pretty good.
It's great.
But yes. But yes. Let's. I'm gonna stick with you, Anthony. And this is something I hope you. This is a question I hope you took seriously. There's a lot of parks in Ontario, and a lot of them are beautiful. Some are just like parkettes or whatever. But there's a lot of good stuff out there. If you like this winter, just thinking about it with COVID in mind as well. What if you had to take a Raptor to an Ontario park for a day trip or maybe camping or something? What park would you go to, and which Raptor would you take?
Okay, I thought about this long and hard, and I took some notes.
Okay.
I don't think I'll be leaving the city at very many points during the winter time.
Fair.
So we're gonna stick with a park that I love to go to here in Toronto, and I'm an East End boy, so we're going Riverdale Park East.
Ooh, okay.
Beautiful park. I'm gonna take my guy, Mafuzi chef, Serge Ibaka. I'm going to dig out an old toboggan meant for 2 to 3 people. I'm going to give it to him. He's going to have that. I'm going to get on a GT snow racer. We're going to have a great time tobogganing down those little hills there at Riverdale Park East. I brought a thermos of coffee, got a little bit of Bailey's on the side.
Oh,
maybe
wow.
a bottle of Jameson. We're having a great time.
Okay.
And then maybe afterwards, we go for some dim sum because I know Serge loves dim sum. He loved Rosan. It's probably going to be gone soon, so we're going to have to maybe go to Rosewood, hop on the old 505 Dundas, and go from Riverdale Park East to Dundas and Spadina.
Wow, you even take it out of the park. I like that. I honestly, all I can say is thank you for taking my question seriously. And Adam is the one who kind of started some competitive juices here. So I hope he has a good specific answer as well. Adam, what park and who?
I'll tell you, Freddie. I would take Fred VanVleet to Ontario's beautiful Algonquin Park.
Wow. Okay, that's a trip.
And I would take him to a very specific location, looking at an island. And I'd say, Freddie, take a look right there. What do you see? And then I imagine Freddie would gasp. He'd go, that's not the inspiration for Northern Island by Group of 7 painter Lauren Harris, is it? And I would say, yes, Freddie, it is. And he'd be like, because Freddie, as we all know, loves Tommy Thompson. He loves the Group of 7. I feel like it would be a really good, I feel like there's no time for these Raptors, no time for these guys to get out there and see the beautiful nature as painted by some of the classic landscape painters of Canada's history. So that's my answer.
That's also wonderful. Matt, I usually don't, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'll just let you think for a second.
No, I got it. I got one for you.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I was going to say mine, but please.
I'm going to give him this person I'm going to take. It's going to be Kyle Lowry. Let's start there. Okay. My family's from the West Side. I know Anthony's from over on the East. So I'm going to give him the full West Side experience. The park we're going to end up in is Centennial Park in North Etobicoke there. And we're going to have a good game of Frisbee golf. They got a decent course there. But before we even get there, I'm going to take them down on Royal York. We're going to go to San Remo's Bakery, and we're going to get some big sandwiches made for this day.
Not a park, but go on.
No, just to bring to the park, Adam. Okay, you can't just you can't just go to a park and sit down. You'll pass out.
Matt Duncan's favorite park, California sandwiches.
It's a beautiful park and veal parm. But sorry, Matt, go on.
I would just say, you get a serious veal parm at San Remo's Bakery. Shout out there on Royal York and close to Judson. And we'd end up at Centennial Park. There's lots of options there too. Maybe he's going to look over. Kyle wants to hit the batting cages for a bit. Fine. Maybe he's going to bring his drone. We'll just fly that around in a field.
His drone.
There's a lot of toys. Matt's bringing a lot to the park.
Yeah.
Shout out to San Ramos. Just got some of their donuts the other day.
They're the
Wonderful.
Best.
I had a cake made there. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I don't know about the cakes. I don't know.
Is that wrong?
That's fine.
No, I don't think it's wrong. I don't think it's wrong.
Donuts were so good.
There goes the San Remo sponsorship.
I know. No, oh man, if they sponsored us, I'd die of donuts. I think. But I like that Homer Simpson's. Actually, no, never mind. I was going to say the Homer Simpson in hell eating donuts, but then he doesn't die, I think. Anyways, I would die. Okay. But mine is Masai Ujiri.
Yep.
Colonel Samuel Smith Park. You take Kipling right into the lake. That's where it is. There's a lot of birds. But more importantly, there's two views. There's one kind of like south towards like Hamilton, Burlington, right?
Mm-hmm.
A little bit
Okay, yeah.
smoky.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's a view of Toronto and the island. And I would just look at them and I would say, that's already yours. That's an amazing, beautiful thing. You can head towards the US and the smokestacks, but I'm just saying that right there is yours. Also, thanks for joining me in the park. This is such a nice day. I can't believe you're walking around Colonel Samuel Smith Park with me. Cheers.
Whoa. And he'd be like, we're just hanging out, dude. Like, you don't have to thank me for hanging out.
I would, though, still.
You're cool.
Yeah, you know what?
You take him to the park that we went to at our Humber College days.
Hey, which one's that?
That's the park.
That's the park.
Colonel Samuel Smith. That's
is that what it's called?
Like, get high for the first time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's also, you do some bonfires there.
They got the skating rink there too. The path that is a skating rink.
I don't know, Matt Duncan.
I don't remember the skating rink.
Humber College, 2005.
You were clearly at Humber at a different time than us.
Wow.
Okay, let's move on to my last Raptors question, and it's almost like a segment because I feel like I talk myself like to a certain edge, and then I just need to be either like talked off or like here. Like if it's a segment, it's going to be called "Talk Me Off the Ledge" or "Pop Me Like a Pez." Okay, so the thing I'm talking about this time, and we'll start with you. We'll go to you, Adam. So it's about Tyler Herro, and I think that I may be just getting an obsession going here, but I feel like the only thing that we didn't see from Nurse is trying a bunch of our bench guys and kind of like throwing more shit at the fire and seeing if we could somehow push Boston in a different way. And for me, it's hard to see Miami trust guys like Herro, who I know is drafted higher than our rookies. But probably it's a higher ceiling, but it's just like, it's not just him. It was Duncan Robinson. Now it's Kendrick Nunn and in the finals, but I just feel like there's something there. Like maybe Spo's got something Nurse doesn't in terms of like I mean, he does in terms of experience. But anyways, talk me off the ledge or pop me like a Pez. Adam Christie is like okay, here's where I'm at.
Just say it's Matt Thomas better than
Norm Powell is better.
You imbecile.
Norm Powell is better than Tyler Herro. Terrence Davis maybe is. Matt Thomas, I'd probably not.
I'd say Norman Powell is right now. Listen, Tyler Herro's like 16 years old, for God's sake.
He's 20. No, but I just mean he's spreading his wings in the playoffs, and I feel like we had guys who could also spread their wings. So that's,
people are getting
talk me off the ledge or pop me like a Pez. You know what I mean?
Listen, I'll talk you off the ledge. I'll pop you like a Pez. People are getting crazy horny for this guy because he scored 37 points in that one game against Boston. It was unprecedented. He's a young boy. It looks like everybody's son. He does a little like thing with his lip now.
Little scowl. Ooh.
Yeah, people are excited. He's the youngest starter in the NBA Finals history, so people can get excited about this guy. It's fun, you know. He's probably going to be pretty good. He's pretty good now. I know, I think he's very overrated for what he is right now, but. I don't know. As far as the narrative goes, it is fun that he's doing what he's doing. But yeah, I'd take Norman Powell over Tyler Herro. What are you, nuts? And no, I wouldn't take Matt Thomas over Tyler Herro. What are you, nuts?
But what about Terrence Davis?
Terrence Davis, I mean, Herro's better than Davis in his rookie year, if that's what you want to know.
But I mean, if Davis were on Miami and Spo's like, I'll give you 20 minutes a game, you think he could do some stuff? Like, do you think he'd be a factor right now?
Yeah, sure. Do you think Terrence Davis would score 37 on the Celtics?
No.
Something that no Raptor could do?
Fair. That's very fair. Okay. I feel like that's maybe I'm still on the ledge. Anthony, yeah, talk me off the ledge or pop me like a Pez.
I'm gonna pop you like a Pez.
Okay.
I love Tyler Herro. I had followed his brief career at Kentucky, and I watched him in March Madness, and I thought, man, this guy's going to be a stud. And I think him getting picked at 13 by an already pretty good Miami Heat team was like such a steal, and he's really shown that. Like, I think he's a big time player because he calls his own number when he has a chance to take those threes, and he is consistent. He's dating Instagram models. He's going crazy, man. Okay. But I do like his play style, and I think that like he is better than TD. He's better than Matt Thomas, and
does he understand the grind? That's what I'm asking. Does he understand the grind?
I don't know. I watched a video about how he spent his first million, and sure, he understands the grind.
I don't even know what that means, but that just sounds cool.
GQ, how did you spend your first million, right? Or what'd you do his first paycheck? There's a lot of dumb stuff, I think.
Tons of dumb stuff. He was just like, I bought a lot of clothes. And I was like, all right, well, I mean, at least you're good at basketball. You're not very smart, but love you.
Yeah.
You were born, you don't know what 9/11 is.
Is that a thing?
He was born in the year 2000, Freddie.
Oh, yeah, but he probably knows what it is.
He doesn't know what happened in Gander, Newfoundland on that fateful day.
Yeah, no, he doesn't know. He probably doesn't know the Newfoundland angle and how welcoming the folks are there. It's the Big Rock. I love it. Let's do some NBA bubble stuff. Maddie, I know you got an NBA sting for me. Might be silver with a tugboat. It might be something else. Whatever you got, give it to me.
This is Adam Silver.
Oh, yeah. They call him Adam. Adam Silver. Hey.
It is a good metaphor for Adam Silver, though, isn't it? He is the tugboat just pulling the NBA to safety. No.
I'm going to go ahead and block that.
Yeah. I feel like he's a tugboat roving around, I would say.
Imagine after you wanted the NBA title, a tugboat gives you the Larry O'Brien trophy. You got to go to the closest pier.
That'd be cool. And it's
tugboat
like the only place you can hold the trophy is Antarctica.
Wow.
you gotta.
Wow.
I realize I maybe don't know how to pronounce that word properly, so
Antarctica?
check me out.
Antarctica.
Killed it.
Ant, like A-N-T.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think? Like Antarctica?
No, I wasn't going in that. I was just, wait a second. Is it actually named after an ant? You know what I mean? But no, I'm sure it's not. Anthony, let's talk some NBA finals. So, Jimmy is doing his thing. Obviously LeBron James and AD. This is like, I'd say the narrative is mostly around kind of like the Lakers wins anyways, like AD exploding. This last one was more of a shared thing. But yeah, who else is kind of standing out to you in this series? Like who's the best player that isn't those three guys?
I mean, maybe he's not the best player out of who's not those three guys, but
or who's playing the best. Yeah,
I'm a big sucker for the old tall white dudes who can shoot. So Duncan Robinson has to be my pick. I think he's awesome. Like I love his story. I love that he didn't think that he was going to be a pro basketball player and was reaching out to sports journalists to be like, hey, like, how do I take the next step when I'm not playing basketball anymore? But I love his like quick release shooting, how he can just like bounce off of screens and just jack it up like willy nilly and like make it most of the time. I watched him when he played, I think he played 3 years at Michigan. I watched a couple of his tournament runs and I really like him. And like, I've seen like nothing but just like solid play from him across the board in the last two series. He wasn't incredible last night, but Duncan Robinson, he's my guy.
Duncan Robinson, I think it's a good pick. He's a spacer. I'm just looking at Basketball Reference right now. He's played the fourth most minutes for the Heat, so he's clearly in like the majority of their rotations. Adam, who's your guy? Who's your best guy that isn't, because it's kind of a weird series in that sense, like without, Dragic and Bam just came back. Those three are all like massive stars. And then everyone else is like kind of, not even like that tier below, like not threatening to be an all-star even.
Well, Freddie, I'm glad you said all that because I don't have an answer for this because I think, listen, shame on me and shame on all of us because I truly believed at the beginning of the season that the Lakers wouldn't make it out of the second round because when you saw, let me just go through this list. Okay, I'm going to make mine into a game. I'm going to name a player. And if at the beginning of the season, the Raptors signed this player, how mad would you have been? Okay.
Wait, so what's the level here? Is it like not mad, very mad?
Okay, the mads are going to be the new spicy chicken sandwiches at McDonald's. So either it's spicy, either it's Scotch bonnet, or either it's the third one. Do we know the third one?
Ghost pepper.
Ghost pepper. Spicy, Scotch bonnet, ghost pepper the hottest.
Oh, McDonald's algorithms are going to love this. Okay.
Yeah.
So imagine beginning of the year, they announced Dwight Howard is going to be playing for the Raptors. How mad are you?
Ghost pepper.
Yeah, I'm also ghost pepper.
Furious.
I think I at the beginning of the season, I'd be like, this guy's so washed.
I'm like writing into Raptors MLSE.
Contavious Caldwell-Pope gets signed by the Raptors. How mad are you?
Ghost pepper.
Let me say not mad.
Not mad. Just regular spicy chicken.
Just regular spicy chicken, yeah.
Habanero is the regular one.
That would have been in my Stanley Johnson like Rondé territory where I'm like, huh.
I always thought like Contavious Caldwell-Pope was like the definition of a replacement level player.
Yeah,
like
I would agree.
If it's like you put like imagine this player got injured and blank shooting guard like 50% like rated 72 on NBA 2K, I'd be like, okay, I'm envisioning Contavious Caldwell-Pope. But after this series, he's been amazing.
He's outperformed that, but that's not unfair.
Last night he made some clutch shots, like huge shots down the stretch.
Markieff Morris gets signed to the Raptors.
Also not mad.
Yeah, I think I'm okay. I'm okay with him.
Rajon Rondo gets signed to the Raptors.
Ghost pepper fury.
Yeah, ghost pepper for sure.
But see, all of these players are doing it. Like at the beginning of the season, I thought it was just like LeBron and Anthony Davis and this like ragtag group of morons. JaVale McGee. I'd be like literally
Furious.
any of these players. If they got signed to the Raptors, I'd be like, well, we're tanking, or like I don't even know what we're doing. They're like worse than it would be like another Stanley Johnson, where we're like, did we like lose a bet or something? Does Masai owe somebody like a favor or something? It's just amazing that they've been able to, and I guess it's a testament of like LeBron and Frank Vogel, but like, man, on D, they're good. Like they're just locked in. Like all of these players are giving something, and it's kooky.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, this is I'm such a broken record on this point, but like this was the league is kind of like remaking itself year, in terms of like, there's no Golden State. So like, I don't think the Lakers are like world beaters. I think if the Lakers defense had to go up, they went against Houston though, and then they did a pretty good job there, but like, I do feel like maybe like I would have liked to see them against Dallas. I would have liked to see them against some like other. Oh, wait a second. Also Denver. You know what? So
They went against Denver.
You know what?
Yeah.
Let me just walk that back a bit. But I think there's no overwhelmingly good team, and I think their defense is looking so incredible against. Like I think Miami was ranked like 15th on D or something like that. In the season, they were like the best 3-point shooting team, but they didn't have a lot of good shot creators. Like so much has come together in the playoffs for Miami to make it here. Mm-hmm. And anyways, to your point, the Lakers, I don't think are like an overwhelmingly good team. And my answer, hilariously enough, is Rondo. I think he's been the best player that isn't LeBron, AD or Butler. He's
hitting threes.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And he's also just so composed. Rondo's a good player for sure. But I think like sometimes like you're seeing it now, like people are being like, and people said Rondo was washed up a couple of years ago. It's like he was. Okay?
He is.
He
Regular season Rondo is terrible. We're just seeing the rebirth of playoff Rondo, and I hate it.
Well, and also LA's like flaws, like they're just not going up against a team that's good enough to like push all of their flaws to the point of being like, I mean, and like Adam said, credit to Vogel for sure for making all these guys play so well, and credit to LeBron because it's anytime LeBron's on a team, it's like that dual inspiration of kind of like he's the leader, plus there's also a coach. Yeah. Okay. Let's
like Howard and Rondo would be poison. They would be a net negative on any other team if they were playing on that team. If you had Rondo, you'd be so mad.
Yeah. I think Howard particularly is the guy who's like, okay, fine. I'll just do what I need to do and be a good teammate. And he did that for like 7 teams and they all fired him. Yeah. So for him to do that this year is like, wow, LeBron, say what you want to say, but LeBron and Vogel, like they made it happen for Dwight after all. I mean, this guy is like, if you don't remember, go look up his really weird joke poem that he gave at a press conference when he joined. It wasn't the Lakers. I think it was like the Wizards, but he like had this thing where he's like, I won't even spoil it, but he makes a pun on every single team's name that he's been to. Oh and God. It's not funny. And the reporters are like, please stop.
And also, he already played for the Lakers and tanked the franchise.
That's right.
Like for the Lakers to be like, let's run it back again with this nightmare player that we had.
Yep.
Like they didn't learn the lesson, and it was like good that they didn't.
Yeah. I think he's realizing that this is his last chance at a chip as well. Like he is not the Dwight Howard of years past. Like you don't see like his dynamic athleticism that you saw when he was playing with Orlando, when he was Superman. And I think like he's calmed down. He's like, if I'm really going to make a legacy for myself and these are the last chapters of my career, like I might as well be respectable, be like a good defender and put up like meaningful minutes on a good team.
Hearing you say that he was Superman reminds me that he's had a very long career. He's probably, I think he's like, I don't know all the whatever in between criteria, but I think he's a Hall of Famer and has like pretty ridiculous rebound and defensive numbers. Although, had so many years of just being like this, like a kind of a joke and like such a weird middle end of his career. And if he does get his first ring for LA, it's going to be hilarious.
It's redemption.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of hilarious Lakers who it's going to be like when you see, him, Waiters, Smith, and McGee all being like, we got a ring.
Yeah. Oh my God.
This is nuts.
Yeah. It's like this team is like LeBron, Anthony Davis, and then the Big Green. Remember that movie?
I do.
Kids who can't play soccer. It's like it's like this. It's like they're all learning a valuable lesson at the end and all using their skills to actually bring something together. It's insane.
It's beautiful. Let's Anthony, I'm going to hit you with this question. So this is a choose your question type scenario. How does a fourth ring impact LeBron's like overall legacy, assuming the Lakers will win, or if you think that the Miami Heat are going to win, how does this comeback happen? Like what's the story for their comeback?
Okay, so I think for the drama of it, I want Miami to come back.
Okay, so walk me through it. How does that happen?
They almost won last night, and
that's true.
And like Bam is not 100%. They don't have Goran, and they weren't playing super well. But I think what they have to do is they have to feed Bam, and Bam has to duke it out with Anthony Davis. They have to stop the Anthony Davis 3, which is like easier said than done. Obviously, like in this offense, he somehow just like runs around and gets open and like, and he's just been so clutch, like shooting the 3. Like I don't even understand.
I know, and he's not even a 3-point shooter. Like in his
no,
crazy.
And I think like in order for Miami to win, I think it's probably not going to happen. But I think Goran has to come back, and he has to just go crazy and distribute and make big shots as he does. And Tyler Herro also has to just consistently score like 30 points. And I think that's the only way that Miami comes back. And then finally LeBron gets a reverse sweep, and then people get to be like, haha, greatest player in my ass.
Oh yeah. I mean, if LeBron lost, oh my God, that's a whole different thing. Like talking about LeBron's legacy, if he loses this, is hilarious. Actually, people will. It will be fun to podcast about that because people. Yeah,
it'd be like the ring chaser narrative will be.
Oh my God!
Strong.
Yeah, like, and just the opposite of what Adam was talking about, like all these like kind of like journeymen being like, what? I don't want this guy in my team. If they lose from 3-1, the slow like breakdown combustion of that would be a sight for sure.
It'd be Houston levels of destruction.
Oh, it would be amazing. And yeah, I agree. I think Miami like actually like winning is some form of them like, Bam comes back. He's a little bit healthier. They somehow, they get to 3-2 and then it's like, oh my God, Dragic's going to play like 10 minutes. And then it's like, he slowly gets healthier, but
it was heartbreaking watching him try to like warm up yesterday and like seeing the pain in his eyes that he like could not go. Like it was just like that hit me pretty hard. And I don't even like Goran Dragic that much. I was like, why am I feeling this way about Goran Dragic?
Well, because you're watching someone's life journey, like get to a point. Like that would be like, can you imagine for us if we get to the finals and Gasol's like, I'm out. We'd be like, that sucks so bad.
Right.
Adam, where are you at? If you if you think Miami's going to do this, tell me how it happens. If you don't, what do you think about LeBron's 4th title?
I mean, I wouldn't count Miami out. Listen, and also I think part of the reason why I think we feel bad for Goran Dragic is he's the world's oldest looking 33-year-old. Like he looks like, He's got like this salt and pepper that's just like a 58-year-old man salt.
Yeah, he's been an accountant for 20 years.
But I also think, I think the Lakers are going to win. I think out of all these teams, like, I think it's real cute, especially for the Eastern teams, to be like, oh, there are so many teams that could do it. Like the Raptors could have won, the Heat could have won, Boston could have won, the Nuggets. But it's like, out of all these teams, really the Lakers look the most effortless doing it. Like all of their series, like we'll see with this one, but they just went to 5 with every series. Like they didn't really have trouble with anybody.
For sure.
And I think, LeBron's legacy is going to be the same. Listen, LeBron's the second best player of all time, and he can't budge Michael Jordan off because all these losers and freaks won't ever like dethrone Michael Jordan as the greatest of all time because it was the 90s, the shoes, the 3 back-to-back or the 2 back-to-back-to-backs. I think he's just cementing his legacy as the second best of all time. Unless he can win unless he gets 7 rings, which, I don't want to count LeBron out, but I don't think it'll happen. But I think he's just going to, like all these people who get cute and they're like, Magic Johnson's actually, it's like, shut the fuck up. Like LeBron is number 2.
Yeah. I do get a bit cutesy with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I feel like the way it settles in my brain with all the rule changes is kind of like Jabbar was like the best of a time. Mm-hmm. And then it was Jordan, and then now it's LeBron, and it's like pretty damn hard to compare those people with each other. Yeah. I do think that, as far as like ideology and stuff, it's like a 4th title maybe makes the 5th and 6th and 7th more possible, but I don't think a 4th is enough to. Because when you're talking about LeBron, that's kind of like where it's at. Like he's not like, at this point, you're not being like, is like Kobe better than LeBron? It's like, no, he's so far past Kobe, Duncan, Shaq, any of those types of guys that you're kind of just looking. It's a weird game of like looking at like incredibly impressive feats from each person. It's like, well, he retired a bunch. And then it's like, okay, yeah, sure. And then it's like, well, this guy was like basically became a GM, while he was a player. It's like, yeah, that's pretty crazy too. Yeah. I feel like I got the answer I wanted there.
Great.
You know what I mean? Like
great.
That's it's sitting right. But let's finish this up with some quickish questions. Ooh. Does that sound fun, gentlemen?
All right.
Maddie, I know you got something, so please give me your most beautiful quickish questions sting.
Quickish Questions!
Sip of water, you know what I mean? Okay. Guys, you know what's up. This is Quickish Questions. I'm going to read these questions as clearly stutter-free and, cognitively as possible. It may not happen. You have to answer as fast as you can. You can't hum and haw or phone a friend or, no delay tactics of any kind. I think question 3, we're going to make I'm going to turn it into an all play, I believe. But let's do Adam, Anthony, Matt.
Okay.
Matt, fire it up. Adam.
Yeah.
Does LeBron drink Jimmy's coffee? Pardon me. Does LeBron drink Jimmy's coffee out of spite, or is it undeniable and robust flavor?
I think LeBron doesn't drink coffee. I think he drinks some like weird gelatinous cube drink every morning.
Yes, correct answer. He's like, inject me with my Soylent cube. Cheers. Anthony, do we get a Dion Waiters sighting in the finals?
Absolutely. He's the human victory cigar for the LA Lakers. I would love to see the Edible King in action. Making some threes.
Edible King's good. Okay, this is what I'm going to turn into the all play. So Matt, these are some the best of the '60s players.
Okay.
And here's the context I want you to answer this question.
Cheers.
How would this team do against the current Los Angeles Lakers?
Yeah.
So it's Bill Russell,
Yeah.
Wilt Chamberlain,
Wow.
Elgin Baylor,
Okay.
Oscar Robertson, and Jerry West. So how does that team do against the Lakers? Sorry, I should say there's no 3-point line in the series.
Okay. For both teams. I would say that old 60s team for sure is going to beat this Lakers team in like 5 games.
Okay, old 60s team for the win. Adam, that same old 60s team versus the Miami Heat. No 3-point line.
Well, wait a minute. Like, are they like Jerry West is like an 80-year-old man?
That was never specified.
Oh no, I thought it was them in their prime.
Wait, you know what? Let me just reread this. If it doesn't say prime, that's
Them now?
60s. Sorry, Matt. Adam, yeah, you've
This is a
uncovered
stupid
something.
question.
Yeah. Well, Matt unfortunately didn't get that clarified, but I'm going to say the 60s team still beats the
Wow.
Yeah, I think Jerry West drops 48.
Wilt's. Oh my god.
Okay, that's pretty crazy. Anthony, now just to throw in a third team here, what about so Russell, Wilt, Baylor, Oscar, West against our Toronto Raptors?
No 3-point line. Yeah, I think the 60s team wins. They're like the best players of all time. Even if they are in their ripe old age, they got it.
Okay. Well, let's make this last one an all play as well. Matt,
Yeah.
are Danny Green and Iguodala finals friends or foes?
I think that they are foes because they're a couple of old pros.
Ooh, okay. Limerick Jones over there. Ron James on a cliff over there. Adam, friends or foes? Danny Green, Iguodala. You know, they've seen each other in a lot of different ways. You know, Spurs, Heat, Golden State, Raptors. These two teams as well.
I think if you're out there and you don't respect Andre Iguodala, you're garbage. And I don't think Danny Green's garbage. I think he's a nice guy. So I think they respect each other. I think you're going to see at the end of this series a very long handshake, maybe a couple jokes at the end of the game. And that's a Christie guarantee.
I love it.
Mr. Christie.
Yeah, maybe they're such friends that you even see Iguodala being like, "Hey, I heard one of your 2 snakes passed away." There's a snake I smuggled into the bubble.
Iguodala is going to be buddying with everybody. I bet everybody's going to give like crazy hugs to Iguodala. Everyone loves Iguodala.
100%. Anthony, friends or foes?
I think they're friends. They're 2 guys who have been in the finals a bunch of different times. And for Iguodala, he finessed his way off of a bad team to a team that made the finals. And Danny Green was like, I'm going to go play with LeBron. So in a way, he finessed his way to the finals as well. So those guys, friends and finesse.
Ooh, okay. You know what? There's a lot of nice alliterations here, and I'm pretty proud of myself for the snake joke.
Freddie, can I ask you a quickish question?
Sure.
Do you think LeBron's been padding his stats sprinting for easy defensive rebounds to take away from other players?
I don't know, but I hope so.
He's been sprinting to some rebounds.
Ooh, like Russell style, like.
And he's been really dogging it and getting to that half court offense.
Ooh, okay. I'm going to keep my eye out for that. And
Keep your eye open for it.
If I notice that he gets a rebound he shouldn't, and even if they're going to clinch it and win the finals, I'm turning the TV off.
He stole one. He tried to steal one from Rondo yesterday, and it was a turnover, and it was like a 6-point game. It almost did something.
If the Lakers go up,
just my tin cap conspiracy head. Okay,
I like it.
If the Lakers go up by like 20 or like even 15 or something like that in the next game, will LeBron take his shoes off again and just be standing there in his socks?
I hope so. I liked when the confetti was like, he took his shoes off, sat down, the confetti was going down, and was like, I guess time stopped.
Puts on a snuggie and then
there's a good Dr. Manhattan meme like on Mars, like just chilling out, wondering about the Earth's mysteries. Guys, that's the pod. We made it all the way. Thank you both for doing it. Thanks for everybody for listening. Obvi, Anthony, let's start with you. What's going on? What do you want to promote? If you don't want to promote anything, what do you want to say?
Let's see. What do I got cooking? Like we talked about at the beginning of the pod, my digital series Ming's Dynasty can be streamed all episodes for free in Canada on CBC Gem, and I think for free in America on Tubi, or you can check it out if you have Ficto. I've also got my own little podcast cooking here in Quarantino. It's called Book It Vince. It's a wrestling dream match booking podcast with my buddy Martin Bennett. So if you are a wrestling fan, swing on by. It's available on all your favorite podcatchers, and you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Holland Jokes.
Amazing, dude. Wait, so like when you say like fan or like dream matchup booking, are you like, do you theorize about how a match would go?
Yeah, so we basically take two wrestlers or groups in wrestling history that may have interacted with each other briefly, or may be impossible for them to interact at all, and we book a storyline and talk through it, and how the different moments would look and what the outcome would be.
Can I suggest one for a podcast?
I want to as well, but yeah.
Can I hear Big Boss Man?
Oh, good.
All right.
Yeah.
Write this down. Big Boss Man versus an 82-year-old Jerry West.
Yes, of course.
Who wins? Hell in a Cell.
Whoever wins is the new logo.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you might have a Boss Man logo for a bit.
Oh, boy.
Okay, well, my suggestion is all of Dusty Rhodes' characters versus all of Mick Foley's characters.
Oh, that's great. That's
a 4x4.
beautiful.
And Gold Dust doesn't play by anyone's rules. So,
as we all
know, Adam, you got a million things going on. What's up?
Come check me out. Drive-in JFL, October 24th. Get in your car, park it, listen to my stand-up comedy.
Oh my God, amazing
Great show.
Where is that?
Stand-up by the water somewhere. I think it's by Sound Academy.
Oh, that's cool.
On a Sound Academy, JFL. I haven't done. I'm going to be very bad. I'm going to bomb, but there's 4 other comics who might not, and then I'm not going to do stand-up comedy until May. So if you want to get some of this, you got to come to that,
folks. No way he bombs,
no way.
because anytime he's struggling, he has basically a yak back of me in his pocket. And I'm just like, it's a yak back where I can like coach him along. Sometimes it goes too fast and he can't understand, but no.
You want to see me doing stand-up comedy to 100 cars. Come on down, doing crowd work on a Honda Civic.
Guess what? I'm coming. No car, so I'm going to be like a different roving personality. During COVID, people like that. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. This pod has been a hell of a time. Everyone, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Hello. Can anyone around here speak basketball?
It's the Confederacy of Dunks Basketball Podcast.
This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network. Sonar!